I love to have a healthy cereal for breakfast in the morning, and it's great that you can find all kinds of healthy brands in the health food stores and the grocery stores, but it's also so easy to make from home, and you have a lot more control that way. You can control the flavors, how sweet it is, and just all of your ingredients. So I'm going to show you how to make a very simple whole grain granola that is delicious and something that I love to eat for breakfast all the time. And it might look like a lot of ingredients here, but it only really uses a couple of ingredients, and I'll show you how to make it. Now, to begin with, I have some rolled oats. Now, they're the old-fashioned rolled oats. You don't want the quick oats. I really like just the old-fashioned rolled oats. And I buy organic whenever I can. So these are organic rolled oats. To that, we're going to add millet. Now, millet might look like birdseed, and it actually is used in birdseed, but it's really healthy for you, and it's a great grain to incorporate more of in your diet. So I'm going to add some uncooked, just raw millet like this, again, organic if you can. Then I have some oat bran. Now, what I really like about making the homemade granola is you can add a lot of fiber into it, and still, not have it be where it tastes like a high fiber cereal. Okay, so this is some oat bran, which I'm adding in. I have used wheat bran in it, but I don't like it as much. Now, what I do have is wheat germ, so I'm going to add that in. This is such a healthy cereal, and if you, by any chance, have a problem with wheat, you can play around with your grains that you're adding to this. Okay, and then to that, we're going to add some brown sugar. Again, this is, you could cut back on the sugar a little bit. It's not a super sweet granola. It's very, very lightly sweet, but I like the mapley flavor it gives it. Okay, so here we have our dry ingredients, which we're going to mix together, just like when we're making a cake. Okay, now we have our dry ingredients together. We're going to do our wet ingredients. So we have apple cider. You could use apple juice. I like this sort of spiced up apple cider to use for this. I'm going to add maple syrup. There we go. And brown rice syrup, organic brown rice syrup. This one is from Lundberg Farms, a great ingredient, very healthy, has almost a malty flavor to it, and so it gives a great flavor to the granola. So I'm going to put that in. It's also very sticky. It's almost kind of like a caramel syrup. Okay, there we go. So we have our brown rice syrup. I'm also going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. And we want to whisk that together, just until the brown rice syrup is mixed in there well. And to that, I'm going to add a tablespoon of oil. You can leave it out, or if you like a richer granola, you could add more in. Just add a light flavored oil. You don't want anything that's going to be you don't want to add olive oil because the flavor would be too overpowering in that. Okay, and now we have some ground cinnamon that we're going to add to the dry ingredients. See, now already all I can think about is when I'm done, having a bowl of granola. This is my favorite. Okay, I'm just going to pour the wet ingredients over the dry. We're going to mix that together. Oh, and you can also stir in nuts, raw chopped nuts, any kind that you like, pecans, almonds, hazelnuts. You don't want to add toasted nuts because they're going to toast in the oven and then they would just be way too toasty. It'd be almost like burnt nuts. Okay, so we have all of our ingredients mixed now. And you'll see that it's getting kind of clumpy, and that's what you want. You want those nice clumps in there. That's what gives the granola all of its crunch. Okay, and to this, you might be tempted to add hemp seeds or some flax seeds, and you can stir some in and add some in at this point. But they say that some of the health benefits bake out when it's heated. So I like to actually just put a teaspoon of either flax or hemp seeds over my granola in my bowl, and then that's when I put it in. Plus, if you're going to add the seeds, you're going to have to keep your granola refrigerated. And this way, you don't have to keep it refrigerated. Okay, now I'm just going to, onto a parchment lined baking sheet, just do a nice thin layer. Let me mix that up a little bit better. a nice thin layer of the granola, like that. And then we're gonna bake it in a 325-degree oven, preheated, for about 45 minutes to an hour. You don't want it to be too dark. You just want it to be lightly toasted, and like probably every 15 minutes or so you might want to just check it and stir it around a little bit, kind of mix it around, and then it'll keep you, if you have hot spots in your oven, you won't have really dark pieces of granola. So I'll see you back here in a few minutes. Okay, it's been 15 minutes. We're gonna check the granola. I like to use a fork, definitely an oven mitt. Be very careful that you don't burn yourself here. But I like to just take the fork and just kind of move it around a little bit in case it's sticking to the paper. Don't break up the clumps. You want those in the granola. And do it to the second tray, and then bake it for another 15 minutes and check it again. Okay, it's been baking. I move the granola around about every 15 minutes or so. And now it's finished. It's been almost an hour. You don't want it dark. What you do is you want it lightly toasted, like that is right there. Pull my other sheet out. Whoops. And then at this point now, you could add your dried fruit. So I'm going to add some dried cranberries, full of antioxidants, some dried apples. And these were just big apples that I snipped with a pair of kitchen shears. So you do that and mix it together, and you have got one fabulous granola. And you can customize it to whatever your tastes and flavors are. At this point, you could add your hemp seeds, you could add some ground flaxseed if you wanted to, and just store it in an airtight container. So for this recipe and many, many other fabulous recipes, please go to everydaydish.tv. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you go and make lots of whole grain granola.